our esteemed speaker. Okay, Ms. Rashidat Jessica Aliagbo is a business development and strategy manager, entrepreneur, and award-winning innovator based in Lagos, Nigeria. With a strategic mindset and a passion for creating sustainable impact, she excels at driving growth, building innovative solutions, and turning ideas into profitable realities. Currently serving as business development and strategy manager at Dam Global, Rashidat brings extensive experience in business strategy, market validation, and operational excellence. She is a techpreneur and co-founder behind ventures including SurePay, where she serves as COO, and Sure Agents, focusing on financial solutions and trust building tools for social media vendors and businesses across Africa. She is also the founder of Flawless Signature, a beauty and bridal styling brand. An economist by training with research interests in business model innovation, economic development, women's empowerment, and financial inclusion, Rashida has contributed to academic work, including publications on climate adaptation strategies. She is a strong advocate for financial literacy and entrepreneurship, frequently sharing insights on business development, strategy, entrepreneurship, and sustainable growth. Recognized as an award-winning innovator, Rashidat is a scholar at the Nigerian University of Technology and Management (NUTM) and actively participates in entrepreneurship and employability programs. Our work blends analytical rigor with people-oriented approach, helping organizations and individuals navigate complex markets and achieve meaningful results. When she's not strategizing the next big move, Rashidat invests in continuous learning and empowers others through thought leadership and community engagement. So as I welcome our esteemed speaker to the podium, please can I see some reactions uh, as I welcome Ms. Jessica?
Thank you, guys. Thank you for that one introduction. I'm coming. I'm echoing. Let me fix that. Hello.
We can hear you, ma'am,
Okay.
but there's a bit of an echo, a feedback.
Again. It's all echo again. Are we good?
Yes, ma'am, we are. Thank you very much.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you just for that warm introduction. I'm always happy to be in the midst of students, early career professionals, because some of the things that we had to learn the hard way is something we can easily teach today so that you have a soft landing. Yeah, so good afternoon, everyone. I don't want to give too much story. I like to ground my presentations in real life context, and I'll be doing that shortly. So just before we start, can we represent the campuses here? So maybe on the chat box, you can just type your campus, where you are joining us from. Is that possible? Okay. Ooh, anyone from Futa? I'm a Futa alumni. Do we have anyone from Futa here? Are you guys shy? This is supposed to be an interactive session. I said drop chat, and I'm not even saying chat. Just two people have dropped something in the chat box. Are you guys shy, or what's the problem? We really need to unwind before we start because it's supposed to be an engaging session. Can you guys hear me? You can just unmute and speak if you can hear me.
Yes, we can.
Yeah, we can hear you, ma.
All right. So why are you guys not communicating in the chat? You don't want to tell us your school, where you studied, and where you're joining us from. I just wanted it to be a little bit more warmed up before we go into the presentation itself.
Okay, for me, my name is Motolani Shilola, and I am an alumni of University of Ilorin. I studied civil engineering, and I was also a campus ambassador during my time in school. Thank you.
Oh, that's great. That's great. And it's also some of the things we talk here today that being in the university, yeah, it's good to pursue your academics. But I mean, when you graduate, you realize that life actually needs more than that. I'm happy you were an ambassador while in school. I was also ambassador for Google and some other organizations while I was also in school. So who else wants to speak? So gender balance, can Emil speak now?
Yes, I can go ahead.
All right, let's hear.
Okay, my name is Adole Obande. I'm actually an alumni of Federal University of Technology, Mina.
Okay, what did you study?
I studied chemical engineering.
All right, when did you start in school?
I didn't get you.
You graduate, or are you still in?
No, I've graduated. I've graduated.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So much for that introduction. Or Idris, for your course, like you don't have FUTA, right? For your current course, do you have FUTA as part of your schools?
Yeah, unfortunately, no. But we
Okay.
are we are we are going to expand very soon to Futa. You should await us. We are coming.
All right. All right. So thank you so much for, I mean, the brief warm up. We are coming up, but we get to speak much more later. Yeah, so let me quickly share my slides so we start from there. Give oh sure, sure. Give me the permission to present. Okay, I can share now. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes, we can, ma.
Okay. All right. So I think we're good to go. Okay, so we already know what the seminar is about, and I will not be going through that again. Yeah, so just a brief introduction of me, which I know you already did. A business development and strategy manager. I currently work for a tech company. Um, I'm also an entrepreneur, which means I own my own business by the side. I've coined an hybrid for that too, and I call it hybrid entrepreneur. I have a LinkedIn newsletter on it, and I'm also a strong advocate for hybrid entrepreneurship. So, just an icebreaker for this session, and I want everybody to really feel relaxed. This is not a I don't really want a very, very formal conversation where you want me to do the talking. I want us to really engage and get immersed in this. The goal is that when we are done with this presentation today, you can spot opportunities yourself and you can also see a problem that you can create a solution for. So, what's one thing that you've always is there anybody can unmute to speak? What's one thing you've always desired from childhood? Hello, am I audible? Hello. Um,
You're audible, ma. We have shy participants.
no, we cannot be shy. Okay, should I
Guys,
call?
can we try to please speak? Thank you.
Okay, let me see who I'll call since no one is responding. I'm confident. Confidence, can you hear me? If you can, I'd like you to just tell us one thing you really did in childhood.
Okay. One thing I've always desired from childhood is um financial independence and a stable brand of my own.
Okay. All right. Can someone else speak now that the floor is open?
Okay, if I can go ahead, actually, one of the things I actually desire from childhood was just like, let me just be of good character. Then, like, let me, apart from business, because as then childhood, I don't actually, even though you give me 10 naira like this, I'm okay, I'm fine. 5 naira, I'm good. So I was literally stubborn then. So I was very, very stubborn. So I saw that people were like coordinated. Then I said, oh, I just want to be like them too. Let me be, but no matter how. But I thank God now I'm actually coordinated still. But while growing up is a different story. But childhood, I just play around. So money was not in my mind then. Money was never in my mind.
Except being of good character is also a good goal. It's a good goal that you want to achieve. It's one of the rarest things, especially in this side of the world. Okay. So thank you. Who else wants to speak? Just tell us one thing you've desired from childhood. I'm not sure that's so technical. Okay, moving on. So for me, one thing I've always desired from childhood is that I've always wanted to be financially independent. And I'll just give you a small story before we move on. So when I was way younger, I had like really big hair and people like my hair. But one of the challenges I faced at that time is that because my hair is big, I rarely see like an hairdresser who loves to make it because once you make my they say it's too full, it's too strong and all of that. So I had just one person that always make my hair. And on that fateful weekend, I asked my dad for money to make my hair. I was like, no, I don't have money this time. You know what? I think if you buy this, this cap and this thing, they call it aboyo in Nigeria, something like that. You know, this cap, skin, yes, the skin coat. Now, if I buy something like that, it's really going to look good on me. And it was during the holidays. Now my dad whined me and I eventually gave in. When we got to his hair salon, they cut his hair and then they cut my hair too, and my hair was very long. And it was like, you look really beautiful, it's fine. But by the time I resumed school, gosh, everyone was making fun of me. They were touching my hair. I cried the whole week for that reason. I was like, it deceived me. It would have just told me he doesn't want to give me money to make the hair, right? Maybe I'll go and ask my mom. And from that moment onward, I was like, what if I can even pay for my hair myself instead of asking my dad for money? Because I felt so bad about that experience. So I was just thinking in my mind during that time that, oh, what can I even do? What can I do? What can I do? And I started saving like the money they give me to take to school. I started saving like part of it. Like I had a close group, so we saved. I would save like 20 naira from that money, just little amount. So at the end of the term, I found out what I was going to do with it, and that was why I started my first business because I just wanted to make sure that when I want to make my hair, I can make my hair, and no one will convince me to do what I do not want to do otherwise. And that desire has actually shaped like many other things that I've done afterwards. The way I intentionally think about business, entrepreneurship, and solving problems. So for that business, I started it at 12 and I started coconut candy business. So when I gathered that money at the end of that term, I started selling coconut candy. I went to a local market. I buy the coconut, and when I take it home, my mom will assist me, and then I'll make the coconut candy, take it to school, and I sell it during break time. And that was my first business, and it was very profitable. In fact, I felt like a big girl because I had money. Everyone now comes to me, like even my big sister will ask me, "Oh, can you borrow me this amount? I'll pay you later." There was a special preference even within my family. I was now treated because I had a business, like I had money. I'm the money girl. And that was how I found my first business. And three things are key, which is value creation, which means that there was something that was valuable in that process that people would literally exchange it for money. Then when I was 13 years old, so my mom was a businesswoman, which is also one of the things that actually inspired me going into business. So whenever she comes from market, I'll help her with um, the money she made for that day. So I'll help her count it. I'll remove her calls. I'll set aside like the purchase, like to restock the shop, calculate what profit she made that day, and then a portion for our meeting, like our meeting savings, like this rotational savings they normally do. So we just set aside that, okay, this week she's going to pay this amount as contribution. We set that aside and restock. And when I was 15, I could run that business for her even when she's not around because I already know all our suppliers. I knew the market to purchase from. I can handle the business and also like monitor the sales person that was selling for my mom. So when she's not around and she needed to travel, I could literally run that business for her. One thing I'd not recognized at that time was how these things were shaping my character and who I'll later become in life. So I could track our income, I could calculate our daily profits and plan reinvestment. And you see that savings discipline is still with me up till now. If I have this money and I say I want to use it for this purpose, there is no amount of enticement that would come my way that will make me spend it, except it's going to be a matter of life and death. Because I've already said that this money, I want to use it for this purpose, and I'll use it for that purpose, and I won't use it for any other thing. And those are like some of the things that I learned growing up because I was able to help my mother manage her own business. And here are some of the skills that I'd learned even before starting the university, and that's financial literacy. That's understanding how money works, profit and savings, taking responsibility, problem solving, ownership, taking ownership of something, like being able to manage a business, even in the CEO's absence, who is my mom, is like taking full accountability for the outcome. That means I have to make sure that when I go to source our AdSense, I don't sell them at an outrageous price that would not even be able to like make a profit from it. Let's talk of the cost of selling, your shop rent, your salaries, and every other thing. And also decision making, learning by doing, and that is very important. There are some skills that you can learn, but there are other skills that can be reinforced when you actually do them. And then that phase of my life passed, and then I got to the university. I went to the Federal University of Technology, Akure, and when I got to the university, in my first month, I realized there was a problem. Everyone in the campus had to travel like really far outside the university environment to go get their hair done. And for me, before I got to school, before I got into, because when I finished my secondary school, I was at home for 2 years before I went to the university. So during that process, I've learned hairstyling. And I thought it's something I can actually offer. And then I quickly called like someone I know at home that, okay, I'll need you to supply me XYZ, extensions, and all those things. I want to start this business in school because it's a huge problem. I started by marketing what I do. So I take some of those extensions to the student hostel and I tell them, oh, I see you guys always go outside the campus. What if you have something like this in campus? Would you want it? So I did like a kind of survey like that among some ladies. I know why not? Because they even spend more going outside. So if they can even get it here, why not? So that was why I started my business then, Flawless Signature. So I had like a shop in school where students come to make their hair. And yes, so that business has grown beyond what it was. Today it's not like a full-blown bridal styling brand. I know that doing these two things, it's not easy. Trying to be an excellent student, which means focusing on your academics while in school, and also having a business by the side, and a business that actually demands your physical attention, which is something that I really need to, which is like really pivotal. A business that demands that I am there to do it. It's a bit challenging, but I was able to balance it. I also even volunteered for some organizations while in school. And yes, I graduated top in my cohort. I also got the Entrepreneur of the Year award when I was graduating. I've mentioned earlier, I volunteered for Google. I think from 200 level, I volunteered for Google till I graduated. I also volunteered for another NGO that was leading a youth entrepreneurship initiative. And then I was doing my business. Yes, I came out successful. So that's to tell you that it's just about your mindset. If you set your mind on things, you will be able to achieve them. And these are some of the impacts that I made. So Flair Signature currently is a bridal styling brand. It's a full bridal styling brand. If you want to do anything wedding, we can provide all the services you need end to end. Your makeup, your hair, your outfit, your styling, events, like it's all in one brand. We've expanded to that size. And then we've also started high profile clients like Nancy Sime. If you're in Nigeria, I'm sure you know Nancy Sime. You know Messi Aibe, you know Effie Willie. So these are the kind of profiles that we have started to show you how excellent we are in what we do. And then I was able to build an idea on campus that has become a full-blown brand today. I just want to confirm, can you guys still hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, ma.
All right. So moving away from that phase of my life after the university, I got into NUTM. So NUTM is a Nigerian University of Technology and Management. So it's a STEM-focused institution focused on building leaders in technology, business, and design thinking. So when I got into this program, what motivated me to join NUTM was because I really wanted to learn about tech. At that time, I was working as a project officer for an NGO. It was a financial, we were actually managing like a statewide financial inclusion project at that time. And my direct boss, who was my manager then, was a tech guy. I think at that time he was in incubation with Andela. I don't know if you know Andela. Andela trains people in technical skills. So that's kind of sort of what they do. So he was with Andela and he was also incubating his own startup at that time. I saw how excellent he was. If you see his slide, in fact, when we used to have like our annual meeting, by the time he has presented, you cannot present because it's going to make your work look like you did not do anything. He was so intelligent, the way he speaks. And so one day I asked him, oh, where are you always going to? Because I see that when we are closed from office, Lumide is still in the office. He's trying to, like when we are closed from work, he's still at the office. He's trying to do one or two things. I'll see him designing slides and preparing for pitch. And then I asked him one day, why these things they are doing, they are not for office. So, and he told me, oh, that he has a startup and he's pitching to his investors. You know, all of those things, they really got me excited. And I was like, I think I should actually learn about this tech thing too. And that was that I started like looking for opportunities within the tech space that I can apply to. And yeah, I also told a couple of friends about it. So it was one of my friends that sent me the scholarship for NUTM. And luckily I got in. And I thought that was just going to be the end. Like I just want to learn and live, but it was more than that. So by the time I had finished from NUTM, my team won the most innovative venture of the year. We also got some grants to start our business, and then that was how Shopee was born. So Shopee is like a social commerce, it's a social commerce platform, an escrow payment platform that helps prevent fraud. So you know there are sometimes when you buy something online and they don't deliver exactly what you want to, what you ordered to you, or there are some cases where people will even pay and not get anything at all, or people are even scammed in the process. So that was the kind of problem we wanted to use Shopee to solve. And how did we even discover Shopee? Shortly before I joined NETA, I was scammed. So I bought a wig from Jumia and they delivered. In fact, it didn't look like anything like I ordered. I'd saved up that money up to December. I said, okay, this December I just want to take care of myself, and I said I'll buy that wig. I bought the wig, and they even delivered it after Christmas, like 3 weeks after I ordered it. And when I received the wig, it was nothing that looked like what I wanted. I've also had similar cases that time of even people being killed. Like, you know, this pay on delivery. So when they get to the person's location, the person pay and the person was attacked. All those kind of sort of stories. So they were what motivated us to launch Shopee. So before I proceed, I'd like to confirm that you guys can hear me and you can understand what I'm saying clearly. So it doesn't look like I'm speaking to myself.
We can hear you, ma. And we have some reactions from emoji reactions from the participants.
Okay, all right. So moving on, we are going to look at how to spot opportunities. The truth is, opportunities are everywhere, but not everyone can actually spot them. If you are not someone who is observant enough, who listens enough, you might not be able to spot an opportunity early. So these are some of the ways you can spot opportunities, whether you are even in school or you are out of school. The first thing is to observe frustrations. What are people always complaining about? We know one that is really prevalent in Nigeria now. People are talking about kidnapping. Imagine that someone is able to invent a tech device or an IoT that people can put in their body or maybe in the satellite to track when harm is about to happen. And it can send alerts to those agencies. And because that person has that device on, they can be easily tracked, whether with mobile or not, it's connected to the satellite. That is one solution that I tell you today. If anyone launches it today and they test it and it actually works, the amount of funding that will go into it, you would not believe it. Because now that problem is big and it is urgent, because it is something that is literally going to affect everyone, by the way, if it is not curtailed. And this is not a problem that selects whether you are rich, whether you are poor. It doesn't select if you are a male or a female. It doesn't also look at your religious perspective. Once you fall a victim, you are already the victim. So to be able to spot opportunities, you need to be able to observe frustrations. What are they frustrated about? What do people complain about? So I use that example because I know that it's something that everyone can relate to. Then you also need to identify service gaps. For example, now, for me, the service gap for flawless signature was that people would travel outside of campus just to get their hair done. And I thought, how would I create a workaround for this? So that's also a way for you to like identify a problem, because that gap exactly that people are creating an alternative to solve is a gap that you can use as your entry point. When you have identified that gap, the next thing you need to do is to now think it in terms of solution. What can I do to solve this? Because it's not just enough for you to be able to identify that there is a gap. You need to now take steps towards ensuring that you are creating a solution for that problem. Don't just rush and create a solution in your head, because one thing I know as entrepreneurs is that we think deeply and we easily get excited. So before you launch a problem, you need to use design thinking to actually ensure that this problem that you think you want to solve, you are solving it with the users in mind, not you, because you're not going to be the one to consume the solution after all. So you now need to like start small, test that idea, do your research, do surveys, and even when you want to start with the smallest version of that solution. And I'll give an example. When I started Flawless Signature, it was not like a full-blown brand. I was not offering everything. It was just exiling, because at the time, the problem at my university was that students had to go outside of campus to make their hair. Burn time, burn money, more resources, and there's even probability they won't get the result they want. And I was able to fill that gap. I started with the smallest version. In fact, before I had a shop, I used to visit the students' hostel to make their hair. So you book my time, say Saturday 2 p.m. You want to do this hair, and you pay me. When I'm coming, I bring your extension. So that was also like a value-added service. You don't even need to go out. I'll bring your extensions for you in your hostel, and I'll make your hair in your hostel before I leave. Before I finish that one, I get another booking. So that was how I was able to manage it. So that is me starting with the smallest version. Before I was now able to, when I've made a lot of money, I was not able to get a space for myself within the university. So the idea of starting with the smallest version is that you are able to test, and if you are even going to make mistakes during the process, testing small allow you to make those mistakes and also propose solutions to it. Because when you make a mistake, when you've invested so much, you lose so much as well. So you need to like start small and test before scaling your solution. And these are also like some of the skills that would pay even before your first job. These are not skills that are taught as a course. I think aside from project management and technology, I don't think there is a course that you say, okay, this course wants to teach me on sales. No, it's just something you have to learn. You learn on your own. So some of these skills are like communication. So as someone who communicates well, you should be able to express yourself. You should be able to ask questions, and you should be able to listen. These ones I talked about now are oral communications. You should also be able to like document well. So example, if all of these things now, you got an idea, don't leave it in your head and say, no, I know it is in my head. No, you need to take a, maybe on your laptop, on your notepad. I used to have like an idea bank. So anything that comes to my head, I just scribble it down there. I'll scribble it down. Even before I started this presentation, I was doing something one day and I just got a clue of how I should undo the presentation. And then I just scribbled it down. I was not even ready to make this, like I scribbled it down. So you should be able to communicate and both in terms of oral communication and written communication. It's very important. And the second is leadership. You need to be able to first of all lead yourself. So leading yourself includes, if you say I want to achieve X, Y, Z, like for me, I said I want to be financially independent, and I worked towards it. I did not expect that a miracle will happen along the way, or I'll just see more money on the way and I'll pick it and I'll have money. No, I led myself and I made sure that I did things that would lead me towards that solution by starting a business, by building skills, learning hairstyling. Because if I had not learned hairstyling before going to campus, when I got to campus and I solved that problem, I wouldn't have been able to solve it. So that's the boils down to you, like of skilling yourself. And the other is technology. You need to be fluent in different kinds of technologies that are available. Now we see the wave of AI, and now AI can do things that, so for example, if you want to create a slide could typically take you like 4 to 5 hours. That's if you already have like your research content and the document you want to use for that slide. If you want to create it and you are not like a very pro designer, it could take you 4 to 5 hours to create a very good slide. But with AI, you are able to create that same slide in like 5 minutes. 5 minutes, your slide is done, and you move on to the next thing. So you need to be fluent in emerging technologies, the ones that relate to your field, the ones that relate to productivity, the ones that relate to the kind of work that you do. Another key skill is sales. So sales is you being able to sell yourself, sell a product, sell a service. Like I'm speaking now, I'm selling something. I'm selling my personality to you, such that when you look at it, like, I think I like her. I think she's got something. So you must be able to sell at every point in time. So you can maybe take a few courses on sales because it would help you. Even though you are not selling a product, you are not selling a service. Like I'm always constantly marketing my service to people. What I do, you still need to sell yourself. So I think it's one of the skills that we should also like take importance. And you also know before you get any job, you need to be interviewed. And that process of you being interviewed is actually you selling yourself to the interviewer and to the company, telling them that I'm the right person for this job. Then the next skill would be problem solving. So problem solving is you are able to spot a problem and you are able to provide solutions to it. So for example, the shop pay problem, I got scammed. I did not get what I ordered. I didn't want that to happen to any other person. Instead of just complaining about it, we ideated and created a solution for it. So you should be able to spot problem like that, find a way to solve it, and then create a solution for it. And the last one here is project management. Yes, being able to organize multiple tasks, people, resources to achieve a goal. Even in terms of your daily life, you have priorities. So for me, I have my business, I have a job. I also do like consulting. And that means that I'm always very busy and I do not want to mix all my tasks. So I use multiple things to ensure that I stay on track with everything that I want to do in a day. Once I wake up, the first thing I do is after I've prayed and I'm ready to work, I have it to do and what not to do. So your to do will include everything I want to do and what I want to achieve that day, listed in the form of urgency. Which one is more urgent? I'll start with those ones. I'll prioritize them, and then I'll table it down throughout the day. I also have a list of what not to do, like binging on the internet, like just going and scrolling on social media. So I'll leave those things what not to do. And then I would also reward myself if I'm able to achieve those things I put on my to do at the end of that day. So this like me being able to like manage my day as a project. So it's similar to be able to like manage people, manage resources. So now the core of the theme for today's event, which is like developing a business mindset early. We've talked about this all along through our stories, but just to be able to like put more perspective. So the first thing is that you see problems as opportunities that others walk past. The things that people just feel like, oh, God will come and solve them. Abi will pray them away, which is good. I'm a faith-based person, but sometimes some of the things that we are praying about, God has given us intellect, God has given us brain, and He has also given us a will to be able to do and distinguish between right and wrong. So instead of you just assuming that, oh, well, God will help us, why not create a solution towards it? Another one is like taking initiative. You act without waiting for the perfect condition. There's never a perfect time. And if you are still waiting to, if you are waiting that this thing, I want to understand the full process from A to Z before you start, you may never start. So where you are, start from there and start acting from there. The more you do, the more you learn, the more you would know how to do. The last is learn continuously. If you follow me on LinkedIn, you know that I'm an avid learner. In fact, I'm not sure there is no month I'm not learning something new. There is no month. I can't even remember there is no month that I don't learn something new, which is why you'd also become more valuable because the moment you stop learning, you start becoming archaic and you start becoming less valuable. And in idiomatic terms, they say the day you stop learning is the day you start dying. So you have to continuously learn, you have to continuously evolve, especially in the AI revolution and tech phase that we have today. A lot of things change so fast that if you are not learning, if you are not putting effort into those things, before you know, you become redundant because that thing you think you can do so well, there's already a technology that can eliminate you if you are not learning so fast to know how to use these technologies to solve those problems. The next would be to build before you are ready. Don't wait till a perfect time. Start from where you are. Then focus on execution. So it's good for you to say, oh, I've been planning for this, I've been planning to do this for a while. No, start from where you are and execute from there. Because by the time you start, that is when you can get investors who are interested, or family and friends who would even motivate you to do more. And it is until you start you can actually test if the thing that you are trying to do is worth doing. And the last would be to create value. You should always ask, what is the real value I am delivering? It should not just be like activities for you that you are getting busy. Ensure that you have a value and you can also quantify that value. And I will round up today by saying that you should start from where you are, you should use what you have, and you should build what you can. I was able to build a traditional business. I was also able to build a tech business. And today, I'm also growing in that state. That might not be the situation for you. The only difference between potential and outcome is action. If you do not take action today, you do not take the necessary steps that you need to build, those things on your head might eventually die as just ideas. And until you execute, you don't even know the opportunities that are on the next side waiting for you. So the floor is open now, and I would be happy to receive your questions, answers, contributions for this session.
All right. Thank you very much, man. Thank you. Please, can we a round of applause? I want to see those emojis. Thank you very much. It was a very enlightening presentation, and I don't know about the other guys here, especially those that don't want to clap, but I learned a lot. So please, if you would like to ask a question, please you can. If you are shy, you can put this in the chat box, and I will help you read it. Uh, or for the extroverts among us, you can switch on your mic, and the floor is yours.
Okay. Thank you very much for that wonderful session. I really learned a lot. So I have a question. Okay, the question is that
Project a bit more. Not here.
can you hear me?
Yeah, speak louder. I can hear you, but
Okay, yeah, I'm coming.
are you using it?
Coming. Can you hear me now? Okay.
Yes, it's
So
perfect.
actually you made an example of okay making a tracking device that governments could use. That was that uh, I that was an example. But something similar right now. I actually had a particular knowledge of okay, if they steal your phone, I can help you and track it for you down. Like I can track it literally. So I thought about the idea, but a friend of mine told me that Oga, what is for the government, what is for the police is for the police. But I gave it a second thought and I realized that actually is right. So the question is that how you have a solution, how do you table the matter down and how do you sell that solution? Because now that I can track devices, I can't just go on my own and start tracking devices because I don't know how am I putting myself in danger? Am I putting the person in danger? So like those kind of scenario, like how do you think you can go about it?
Okay, okay. That's such a brilliant innovation, and do not let anyone talk you out of it. There are solutions that are meant for the government, but it doesn't mean that individuals cannot do it. Like I said now, security is meant for the government to protect the citizens. But at this time, if an individual can come out to say, I have a solution to this problem, if they don't get the backings of the government, they will get the backings of the people, they will get the backings of the international communities who really want to see this whole problem and menace put to an end. And what you have been able to do is excellent. But do you want me to shock you that the police do not actually track? Except they are like special police departments, like the CIDs, or special response police. The average police don't know how to track. And I can give you an example. I lost my phone last year, January. The phone was not, lost is not the right phrase. It was stolen. I entered the bus. I was going to the island part of Lagos. And the last time I knew was that I had the phone in my hand and I kept it inside my bag. By the time I had dropped from that vehicle, my phone was nowhere to be found. I tried calling it, and in a moment, they already put it off. I went immediately to the next police station to report that my phone just got missing, and they are on this route, which means that they couldn't have left Lekki because for Lekki, you have to like go far before you can make a turn. So they are still within that environment. Guess what? After they collected money from me to make some documentations, what they even call that thing, to write a statement I had to pay for at a time that was stressed. I didn't have anything. They now gave me a number of another person that I should call that guy. He's the one that tracks for them. And that's just like an individual. It was not like even a proper organization. Because when I called the guy to say, my phone just got stolen and I would have really loved if you can help me track it because those people are still like within this environment. He told me he was not around, that he traveled to the east when he comes back. I was like, no, this is a matter that desires urgency. And this is one of the biggest problems today. So because phones are now very expensive, their goal is if I can catch this person, if I don't even take anything from you, if I steal your phone, I'm very sure that if your phone is an iPhone, at least what will get 500,000 naira. And if it's like an Android phone too, they can also get similar amount depending on how big the phone is. Now, look at someone that steals 4 phones in a day. How much have they made? They've made 4 million and they've rendered 4 people also miserable because of that process. Now, imagine that this is your solution. There is a way we can have it on our phone that even though the phone is switched off, the phone is disassembled, we can still track it and get the person. Or if they use any part of that phone to do any other, so you can still track that device and you get it. People will jump at it. So these are my steps for you. First of all, document your solution. Document your solution down. Talk about the problem extensively and anchor it to current happenings, things that have happened. I just give you an example, and if you want more details, I can share with you if you want to use it as a case study for your solution. There are also many people who have faced this kind of problem, and most times when you take it to the police, you don't get solution because the money you will spend on looking for that phone that they said they'll travel, like the money they'll charge in terms of administrative bills, they will say you will follow their car. You will pay the person that will actually track because they don't track. They will pay a tracker. It's someone that will not help you track that phone. They'll actually pay and trust them to double or triple the price for you. And every time you go to the police station, you have to pay a certain amount of money. By the time you calculate all the money you spend in that process and the cost of acquiring a new phone, you just decide that you don't want to do it again because it's no longer worth it for you. So this thing that you have is such an innovative idea. I want you to document your process where get a lot of use cases to back what you want to do. And if you even want to make this like really innovative, you can, if you already have, I don't know if you've built up to a point where you have developed a device, you can actually put it on a phone and try to track it remotely and see. If you are able to put all of those things together, please, when you are documenting your solution, do not document your intellect. No, I don't know. Yeah, your IT is that the core thing that you use in building that solution. Please do not document it so that in the process of you sharing it with different hands, it is not duplicated. Someone do not even launch your solution where you're actually trying to raise money for it. So, but you can document the process of how it works. For the core, there is one essence of everything you are building, the core technology, the core stack that can make this thing work. Please do not document it. And when you are sharing these documents, also have a non-disclosure agreement. If it like has certain sensitive information, always include an NDA at the end of the document that people sign so that they are not able to go and duplicate what you have shared with them in the process. But I must tell you, this is brilliant. Do not let anyone talk you out of it. And if you also want someone that can help you brainstorm through the process, I'm happy to help you with that. But it is brilliant. Don't allow anyone to. Police do not track. You can take you can even raise a survey of just put a survey out there that if you know your phone has been stolen in the last 3 months or last 6 months, they should just signify you want to reach out to them for certain details. You can help them find. No, just say you can help them find their phone. You will see the number of people that are put in and those that were able to recover their phone. The police do not track. It's just something we believe they do. But when you're actually faced with this problem and you go to the police, you know that they cannot solve your problem for you. Did that answer your question?
Yes, yes. Thank you very much, ma. Thank you.
Yeah. Let the questions come in, please. But the next time you want to come, you have to put your question. So now that you have my ask your question.
All right, please. The next, who else wants to take the mic?
If you are shy, you should start, but I don't expect that anyone is shy.
Okay, if okay, Akuma is raising up his hand. You can speak, Akuma.
Good afternoon, ma.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Thank you so much for the insight. Though because of some issues like weather issue, I was not able to follow through. Um, you said start where you are, use what you have, build what you can. I am a medical student of AIF9, and I like Sequema at Ebonyi State, 300 level medical student. But I have this desire for fintech, this um, for fintech, yes. And I pitched my idea about savings for students, some of my colleagues, and they bought it. They bought the idea, and we are more like co-founders now. And we tried pitching the idea to our junior colleagues to know if it's something they will give attention to or they will buy. And some of them gave positive response, but they were not able to follow through with the whole process from beginning to the end, the prototype that we gave them. So at this stage, I don't know if it's wise to go ahead with ideas since there are other fintechs like OPay, MoneyPoint that are giving the same services like we proposed to them. So at this situation, I think I have started, but I feel stuck. Is there anything or any advice you could give us for us to move ahead with our plan?
Oh yes. So one thing with innovation is innovation moves really fast because when you're thinking of an idea, people will be generally talking about that problem. So as they are thinking about it, someone else is thinking about it. Just like the way you think about it and how you execute it might be different. How that person is thinking about it. So may I ask how long did you ideate? How long has this been? Like when you started and then you stopped.
Okay, we we started um, early this year.
Okay,
Yes,
early
early
this
this
year.
year. Yes.
So two quick follow-up questions again. So the solution that you were building, was there a unique value that separated what you wanted to offer from what currently exists in the market? That you feel that when people get to hear about the solution, they would be willing to embrace it? Like, is there something that separates you from Piggyverse? Is there something that separates you from OPay? Is there something that separates you from Money Point? Let me give you an example. Please give me an answer. So when Money Point came into financial space in Nigeria. OPay has taken over informal bank, and they created it in such a way that the only requirement you needed to start using your fintech solution was your phone number, which is what has never existed before. And that's cutting down those criteria. So when you go to the bank, they'll ask you, bring this, bring that, bring your this, and people just get stuck. And then for people who do not have like a formal education or they don't have all of these requirements. But when OPay came, OPay said, hold it there. The only thing you need is a mobile number. And if you don't have a mobile number, getting a mobile number in Nigeria is not something that is hard. And that was how they won the market. They came again and said, banks are charging you. We'll bank you for free. That was, and that time, charges wanted to wound us. Everyone was like, this cannot be true. And people jumped on it. That gave them another reason to win in the market. When Money Point came, Money Point saw that informal banking, individual banking, OP has already covered it. If they have come again to the market and say they want to become another OP that is banking you again with your phone number, that would not sell because a startup has already captured that market. What did they do? Still within that informal setting, they saw that the requirements for opening a business account in Nigeria is huge. And many people, because of that, avoid having a business account. And they fixed that gap. What did they do? All you need to open your business account is a phone number. And that was how they started. So it is at the point where they have given you an account and you can transact, they will not able to fulfill the other requirements, like your CAC and others. But that was a big steal. They came again to say, people are coming to your shop, they want to pay you, but you cannot receive payment. We will give you POS for free as a business owner. Just open an account with us as a business and they'll give you your POS for free. You'll be making money. Your business will be booming. And the barrier to the access to entry was just a phone number. That was how Money Point won. And today they are the biggest agency bank in Nigeria, I think. I'm not sure for the whole of Africa, but even in terms of the whole of Africa, they are doing strongly well. Anywhere where they are not doing like telebanking, like those in Kenya that use Momo and the like. But in terms of agency banking, they've won because they came into the market and saw that there was a gap. And it was that gap they created a solution on. So for your case now, is there anything you think you are going to offer differently that would make people say, okay, they would like to prefer your own savings tech compared to what currently exists in the market?
Wow. I think that's one thing we have not been able to sit down and highlight. I think this would be like something I'll go home with from this um, program. I would sit back with my team and to actually streamline exactly what we feel is the thing that makes us unique. Thank you so much, Ma.
Yeah, that's very important. You need to know what makes you unique and what will put you ahead of your competitors. So what's that thing that no matter how much you try to copy your idea, you are still ahead of the game? So you need to figure out those two things. As a starting point, you need to understand the problem you want to solve deeply. And you also need to understand what solution and how you want to solve it. So if, for example, what you are building is something like PiggyVest, I would say you should go and really study PiggyVest as a product. Because in you studying it, you might not be able to see gaps. Or you can even see something that they are doing, but they are not doing well. And you feel like your own solution can do it better. So study your competitors is one of the ways that you can enrich your own solution, which is actually what I felt Money Point did. Because they already studied the competitors in the market and then they saw how they were doing theirs and they now found a gap and how they can now provide a solution for that gap. So your competitors are like, they should be your best friend. Look at what they are doing. Try to compare with what you want to do. In that process, you will find out something that is unique. You can also research. Look at that same solution you want to build. Go and check if someone has built something similar in the US. What did they do that made them different? You can also now look at context, because I mean, what is replicable in the US and is good might not work for Nigeria because of the people you want to solve it for. But do all of those kind of research. Like, research is the backbone of innovation. So by the time you are doing this research, you start figuring out things that you think you can put in your own solution that will make it better than what currently exists in the market. I hope that helps. So you are not just thinking blankly. That's why I gave you all of these guides to help.
Wow. Thank you so much, man. I've learned a lot. Thank you, Mind Tribe. I really appreciate.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right, so we have another startup owner like Akuma who would like to speak and ask questions.
And it doesn't have to be about startup or business. It can be about your career growth. It can be about progression. It can be if you are currently stuck in something you are not sure of how to figure it out. So if you have anything like that, it's still around the purview of what we are talking today. We are talking about today. So feel free to share. It's a safe space, okay?
Okay, man. If it's actually career, I think, can you hear me now?
I can hear you so clear.
Okay. If it's actually career, um,
Okay.
currently, my location, I major what I actually learned in school was petroleum engineering. But
Okay.
while I was done from school, so I head back home. Where I am currently is in North, that's Kebbi State in Nigeria here. And when I came, I saw there was no engineering to even put my head down. The only solution I could think in my mind was to leave this town and go and stay in either Port Harcourt or Lagos, because at least I could grow from there. So this, I just want to ask question number one: is that a good idea? Well, still proceed again to another question. I'm still a business enthusiastic person. I started a photography business. I actually learned the skill for over 6 months. I started out. So when I started out, communication was part of the issue because as a startup, I seriously lower my price based on the standard price that we used to take pictures, videos. But still yet, some some feel like no, it should be lower than that. When I started, I there was a money that came. It was like 20,000 naira to cover a birthday shoot. But with what I have actually worked before, it was more than that. So when I calculated the odds that it will be against me. So I just said I'm not going to do that. After 2 days later, same me that said I'm not going to do it. I started thinking, depression wants to catch me. Oga, you know, see work. You have not seen work and you just leave that work. I was like, oh my god, 2 days I was not myself. So I now got another work. So the challenge I have is that people that I'm currently working for, they think that this boy is like we are dashing him money. But me, no, I'm actually working. I think the reason is I see that people that want my services are people that are close to me. Sometimes I still think that should I just leave this state now and go and do it in another place, because I still think I'll think in and out of it. So starting out with people that was okay, I was with them, I was not doing it. Then I now started it and I was now doing the services. They are not thinking that, oh, this is someone that we know. It could be easy access for me. It will be even better to pay him than taking my money to pay another person that is far. So that kind of situation, I want to communicate to them that, see, I'm still giving you the same quality, even not as the one I left the shop, at least closer to it. But to communicate or to talk back, I was like, I would just be quiet. But later I will now start thinking, shey, this person didn't know this, didn't know this, didn't know this. So I would like to ask question. If it's on a communication course that I should take, or where should I will do that. So question number one is concerning my engineering base, then back to the business.
Okay. Thank you so much. And your example is not peculiar to you. It is common to everyone who is offering a skill. Like if you are offering a skill-based solution and you are new into the market, yes, a lot of people want to price you cheap. And also it's because they do not have enough reasons to trust you yet. So it's not something that you should overthink. It is normal. So for let me start from your petroleum engineering and your current location. So based on the course that you have studied, you also know that some of these courses, being able to practice them in Nigeria is location specific. So, for example, now if there is no kind of oil exploration going on in Kebbi State, I'm not sure you see anywhere to put in for a job and you actually work as a petroleum engineer. So, the first thing you want to ask yourself, the course that you studied in school does not limit you to what you would actually become. Our school just helps our thinking, refines our mind, how we can think about problem, solution. It helps us to build our brain, right? But it doesn't limit you to that thing that, okay, this is just this thing that you do, right? So if you have studied petroleum engineering and deep down you are really passionate about this field and you want to pursue a career in petroleum engineering, yes, you need to change your location to a place where oil exploration and exploitation is currently going on, or mining, so that you can now leverage your skills in those kind of companies. So yes, you need to change your location, because otherwise you might just be in Kebbi State for so long and you will not get anywhere to do what you actually want. Then on the other side, if petroleum engineering is not really your thing, maybe you like other form of engineering or there are other skills that catch your fancy more. Remember this time, you are not just building a career now, you also want to build a life for yourself. And you want to build a life for yourself that you'll be proud of. So you can ask yourself, if is it petroleum engineering I want to do, or I can venture into other forms of engineering, or can I just do something else? So that will now come down to you on what you actually want to do. So you be the one to make that decision. But if it is petroleum engineering, oh yes, you need to leave Kebbi State. So you might want to come to Delta, Rivers, just the southern part of Nigeria um where a lot of oil production actually go on. So you might want to come there, or you can come to Lagos at least. Even though they are not exploiting here, there are oil companies here where you can also like leverage your skills. So yes, changing of location if you are pursuing petroleum engineering is important. Now let's move to your photography business. So for your photography business now, the first thing, like I said, I know I've said earlier during this call that sales is one of the skills that you need to learn. And I also mentioned about communication. And if you're even what like I said, whether you have a business or you do not have a business, sales is one skill that everyone needs, and communication is also a skill that everyone needs. You need to be able to persuade someone to say, this is my photography business is the best. You know how much just whenever you want to present your solution to someone, let them know the cost of them not having you. For example, you tell them, now I'm just charging you 20K for this birthday shoot, and I'm giving you 20 edited pictures. Normally, if you are supposed to book a studio session, you would have to pay 3,000 naira for each edited pictures, and 3,000 naira times 10 is 3,000. And if you are giving them 20 pictures, 30,000. And if you are giving them 20 pictures, that is 60,000. And they are just paying you a fragment of 20,000 naira for that course. Let them know how much this value is that you are rendering to them and how much they are saving, because that will help them see the big picture to say, true, I did not think it's that way. And then you do not have to convince too much again, because they've already seen that you are giving them like a way more discounted price. Now, the second thing you have to place emphasis on is your delivery, your picture quality that you deliver to them. What does it look like? If you place it with, like, let me not say top photographer, because that would make me say I want to go and compare you with the giant. But look at like photography that you know that okay, their work is still okay, and if I post it as my birthday picture, people would like it. Go and look at the kind of work that they do and place them with your work and see that is it okay? Is it something that you promote tomorrow and people will want to buy in? If it is okay, then you are good. But if it is not okay, that means you might need to invest to learn more about the softwares you use to edit, maybe invest in cameras. You know all of those software skills. I think you guys use what's it called? There's this software used for editing pictures. I'm trying to remember.
Lightroom.
Yes, Lightroom, Photoshop, of those softwares. So you might want to improve on it. You might know how to use it now, but you are not maximizing it to the fullest. So you might want to like do more in-depth learning around how to use the software to get the best quality output for your brand. If you are delivering value and you are delivering it for less, and you are telling the people that this is what I'm giving you and this is what you are gaining, they would be happy to book you. You won't have to say too much because they've seen the value and they've seen that you are saving them money and you're also solving a problem for them. But it is your own responsibility to make them see that value. So if you shut up and you assume that people should know that this price I'm giving them is very cheap, no, they would not know. You would need to help them know. That is why when you go to some marts, you see they put buy this for 20% discount, 30% discount, 40% discount. Although they've already put the price tag there, but they want you to know that this one is on a discount. So you'd also want to communicate that to your customer that you know that normally if I'm supposed to charge you, this is not the price. So you want to communicate your value to them. Then ensure that you're also giving like your output is maybe not yet excellent, but good enough when you compare it to the kind of work that people would want to pay money for. Then the next thing I wanted to ask you, because you talked about that the people who only book you are people around you. That is also normal because at this stage, they are the people that know about your business. So if you want your business to go beyond the people who know you, then you might need to go online. You might need to do some form of advertisement. You might need to do some form of partnerships. So let me just give you a small cheat code. What you can do now, the area where you are in Kebbi, go and look for all the makeup artists in that area. Makeup artists, hairstylists, event planners. Look for those people. They are like your partners. Look for them, write their names out, their list or everything. Then map out how you go and introduce yourself to those people. So that is you now telling people outside your network that I am a good photographer, book me. So you go and meet those makeup artists, those people I've mentioned, tell them I will offer photography to your clients at a very discounted price. And you can even tell them that if you give me one client, I give you 10%, or I give you 5K, 6K, or you cap it at a percentage that you give them for every time they give you a client. Do you know why I say this? The people who are doing birthdays, who are doing events, they are going to those makeup artists and they are telling them that I would love to make a photographer for my birthday shoot. Do you know anybody? They are always asking them. So they know. So, and when you're already partnering with that person, they'll just gladly recommend you. And once you come from a recommendation, people just trust that you do the job well. So the onus is now on you to also ensure that when people recommend you your business, and so that is you now being able to like grow your business beyond your current niche, like people who just know you. The last thing would be social media. So you need to leverage social media for your brand so you can reach people outside of your network. So do you currently have a social media page for your business?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Okay. Do you post often?
Yes, I do post often.
Okay. So you'd also want to leverage social media because at least people who are there, make sure when you want to post, you use the right hashtag so that when they are searching for your business, your business can pop up. So for example, now you want to use hashtags like photographer in Kebbi photographer, birthday shoot, all of those kind of hashtags, so that when people are searching for you, they are able to reach you. I think that would be all. If you are able to leverage all of these things I've said, you see a difference in your photography business. Just make sure that you are always like putting out your best foot forward. Whenever someone gives you a job, always ensure you deliver excellently, because if you do a job well, they'll gladly tell someone else that this person did my photography. And when they now have a need for your service, you come to mind. Even if they do not even have a need, by the time they post their pictures and the pictures are very good, people will ask them who took these pictures. I really love them, and they would recommend you. So ensure that your work is excellent, because it is that work that would speak for you when you are not there. And for those people that you say they are paying you less money, don't worry, it is going to increase over time. The more your perceived value increase, you can start charging higher and people will be gladly pay for it. But at this point, do not shoot your price, because if you shoot your price, you will not be able to build a portfolio that will give you those higher prices later. Okay?
Thank you, ma. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. We still have questions. Do we still have questions?
All right, please ask your questions. You might not see a free business development strategy session again. The next time you speak to her, you have to pay. So now that it is free, please ask your questions.
Omotolani, I've not joined this call. Are you shy? Okay, so not to waste our time, if there are no other questions, Idris, you can now take the floor.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ma. Again for the insightful presentation and also for the question and answer session. I would like to invite my boss, the co-founder of Mind Tribe Africa, Mrs. Comforts, to share something she would like to say.
Okay, yes, I'm here, Idris. Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
We can hear you, Ma.
Okay, I hope I'm not echoing because I can. Is it perfect? I should go on.
Yeah, you can go, Ma.
Okay, thank you. Hi, Jessica.
Hello.
Hello. Sorry, I'm not showing my face, but I know you can see my picture, and your face is glowing so nicely. That's a sign that flawless is really flawlessing. Let me
Yes,
use our Nigerian accent.
Abby.
Uh, yeah, it's really nice to see your face after a very long time. A very quick background. Jessica is my very good friend at UTM, and she's actually, let me say welcome back home, honestly, because Jessica is a part of Mind Tribe from inception. We did ideation together alongside with Ibrahim when we were at NUTM, and she's always bursting with ideas. So it's really nice to welcome you home today. And thank you for the excellent delivery. Myself, I was like, this is a master class because the way you were really like responding to all the sectors, including the security, including the photography, including everything. You would know that Jessica is seasoned and very passionate um, about entrepreneurship and what she is doing. So I just wanted to say thank you so much for the opportunity to have you here today. It means a lot to us, and I'm sure that everyone here had learned one or two things. Not even one or two things, learned a lot because, like I said, it's like I'm sitting in an Harvard class technically. So thank you so much. I wanted to add one or two things today. Um, and that's because when I was, let me give you a little bit of background to what I want to say now. During my university days, my first exposure to entrepreneurship was when I had a class in entrepreneur. And then since then, I've wanted to run a business. And as a student, I was like, I don't have the money to start up something. So I was thinking about what can I do here and there. And at some point, I was able to start a business with as less as 10,000 naira then. And I definitely, like Jessica said, she started selling candies, coconut candies, right? So I started selling um body care products like soap. I learned how to make bathing soaps, all of that category of products, and I started selling them. And to be fair, I think I realized a part of me that I'm quite great with speaking with people, getting to sell, like closing. If I really had things to sell, I don't keep short and I kind of sell. Now, I'm bringing this example because many persons think that if you want to start a business, you must have like millions or trillions or a lot of money. And I've seen a lot of students in my corner coming saying I don't have enough money to cater for myself. My parents cannot give me all that I need. And they're worried. I don't know what to do. I don't know where to get the money. I can't start this. I can't start that. Jessica said in her teaching, in our session today, that starts from where you are. If you can identify a need in your environment, it doesn't have to be millions. Even if you cannot yet launch a business now, the homework, I'm happy about the person that is into security and the photographer doing the homework, researching, building your proposal, researching how even Shark Tank and all these accelerator programs, just watching entrepreneurs, how they pitch their ideas, what questions they ask them, and then you start building all of those things together. At the due time, you will be able to then step forward and launch your own things. So I just wanted to add that today. The entrepreneurship is quite tough. You learn along the way. I'm sure Jessica had obviously evolved over the years, if I'm right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you learn along the way, but just start from where you are. Take that like a holy grail today. Start from where you are. The difference between excellent people or people who really do massive things is that execution. If you do not try, you would never know what is at the other side, like Jessica said. So start from somewhere, learn all that you can learn, develop your proposal, study the competitors, and just grow. That's all I'm going to say today. Again, I will say thank you to everyone who has been able to join today. Thank you, Idris, for the excellent work you are doing. I have dropped Jessica's LinkedIn profile on the chat box. Everyone on this call have to follow her because she posts a lot of interesting, important, and educative things around businesses. So you need to follow her so you can also be a part of that. Then I'm also going to link Mindtribe LinkedIn in the chat box for everyone to follow. If you have not yet followed Mindtribe, please do that now. And I will ask for one last thing before I drop my mic. Um, I would want everyone who have benefited from this webinar today to go to LinkedIn and type your learning points, then tag Jessica and tag Mindtribe. Be thoughtful about your comments because I'm sure that for me personally, I've received a lot of learning today. So for everyone, I'm sure you have to. So go to LinkedIn, type your learning points from today's webinar and tag Jessica and Mindtribe. At this junction, I'll say again, thank you so much. Thank you, Jessica. And I'm saying
Well,
clock it for this beauty. Enjoy yourself, okay?
yeah. Thank you. And
All
thanks
right,
everyone
thank you.
who
All right,
attended.
okay. Okay, thank you, everyone. Please don't forget to follow Jessica on LinkedIn and also Mindtribe because we have so much opportunities for undergraduates this year, and we wouldn't want you to miss out. Okay. So thank you again for joining this webinar. I hope we all enjoyed it and learned a lot. And watch out on our social media accounts for any other opportunities that Mindtrap would have this year. All right, thank you. We have come to the end of this interesting webinar, and you all have a great day. Yeah, I can
Somebody's
get the slides
asking
up
for the
now.
slide. Oh, okay, Idris, yeah, you saw it.
Okay. Miss Jessica, we'll ask her for the slides. I'm sure you can get them. All right, thank you so much, guys. You can all leave the call.